Here's a segment from a recent Gun Talk Radio episode. You can listen to all the Gun Talk Radio podcasts however you tune in, or check out guntalk.com for more. Stories out of Texas. 2. One yesterday, mall shooting in a gun-free zone. One this morning that just broke. 7 dead after a car runs into pedestrians in Brownsville, Texas. They have arrested the alleged driver. 7 dead in a car attack. 9 dead in just outside of Dallas in a shooting there. Seen the picture, seen the video. It hasn't been published, but I've seen them. It's out there. The shooter dead on the ground. It looks like he had an AR. They're not giving out any information about the shooter in Texas. You know, it's like, okay, what's that about? I have guesses, but we'll hold on to those until more information comes out. He did have a vest. I don't know if it was a ballistic vest armor, but it was chest rig. That's what he had with extra mags. He was shot by a first responder, a police officer who was there for something else. Went running in, shot this guy. Don't know yet what the police officer used, if it was his handgun or a carbine or patrol rifle or rifle. But what was interesting is, if you care about it, you can find it. If you look, you'll see. The mass murderer was shot by the police officer. It looks to me like he was shot right in the eye. And yeah, it's gruesome, but it's what it is. How are you going to stop this guy from murdering more people? Only one way that I know of: shoot him. People say, well, you shouldn't have to use violence. Yes, you should. That's all there is. There is no other alternative. There's no alternative. Somebody's killing people. He is there to kill people and probably plans to die. It's a suicide deal. So the only way you stop him is to shoot him. Somebody has to shoot him. Unfortunately, in Texas, a no gun sign, if it's the proper sign, does have the weight of law. And this mall had the signs. So law-abiding people, most of them, left their guns in their trucks, in their cars. They didn't bring their guns with them. They had no ability to shoot this guy. So you have to wait for somebody to show up with a gun. All these things we've talked about before. And yes, there is no doubt whatsoever. I know the gun violence archive numbers are phony. We know all that. But there's no doubt that there is an increase in true mass shootings, even tracked by the FBI. I think we're up to in the 60 range per year. 3 years ago, it was like 20 to 30. If you apply the scientific method, you have to identify variables in the equation. If we have more on this end, something changed on the other end. What changed? Well, one of the variables we know did not change is access to guns. It still requires the same FBI background check to buy a gun in most states when you buy it from a dealer. Guns are still available at the same rate that they were 10 years ago and 20 years ago. Nothing's changed when it comes to availability of guns. But something changed. Something had to change. I don't know if the media and the government seem to be afraid to look into that, reluctant to, absolutely digging in their heels and not going to talk about it, whether it's medication of young people, whether it is alienation of people, where there is the social media aspect where people just show up so they can hate somebody. Seriously. It's like, all I want to do is be able to hate somebody and voice my hate. And I don't care if it's CNN or Fox or whoever it is, they make their business by getting people outraged at other people. If you find yourself being outraged and mad at a particular group, could I suggest that you might want to take another look at that and realize that you're being manipulated and you're no longer in control of yourself and your emotions and your feelings? Back it out. You could disagree with a policy. You can disagree with an idea. But to have hatred for an entire group of people probably comes from some outside influence that you're maybe not even aware of how much you've been manipulated by this. I just throw that out, food for thought. There will be lessons to be learned from this latest shooting. One of them, and I'm going to throw this out because, look, Here's the deal. None of us individually can do anything about increase in shootings, increase in murders, increase in crime. None of us can do anything about that. All we can do is take care of ourselves and our families. I throw this out to you. This shooter was stopped by a police officer who shot him in the head, probably in the eye. My question to you is this, because a lot of people who are carrying think, oh yeah, I could stop a mass shooter. Okay, cool. Let's use Dave Spalding's drill. Get a 3x5 index card. Maybe you're not old enough to remember what a 3x5 index card is, but get a 3x5 Post-it, whatever. 3 inches by 5 inches, that's your target at whatever distance. You've got to be able to put all your shots into that with your handgun or with your rifle or whatever. 3x5 inches. That's not center of mass. That's not shoot them up and spread them around. That's a precision shot. Because more than likely, that's exactly what it's going to take, a precision shot. This is your homework assignment. Are you good enough? Have you trained enough? Do you practice enough? Are you accurate enough? Can you make this shot? Slow down until you can do it. Speed is not the answer in this situation. Accuracy is final. Speed is fine, but accuracy is final. Yeah, none of us wants to be there. Nobody wants to be there. But if you're there and you're carrying and you made the commitment and you're willing, then you ought to also make the commitment to have the skill set. And that is an incredibly perishable skill. Practice a lot. Here's a thought for you. That particular carry gun you have, you could get an airsoft or a BB gun that works exactly the same way, feels the same, works in the holster. You can shoot that in your garage or in your backyard, depending on where you are. You can shoot red solo cups, I don't care. But you can pull the trigger hundreds and thousands of times and get better and better and better for not a lot of money. It does require a commitment, though. A commitment of time, a commitment of a little bit of money. Basically, a commitment of redefining who you are, who you think you are, and then living up to that. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. What are you seeing? What are you thinking? What are your friends talking about right now with this latest news story? I'm Tom Gresham. We'll be right back with more gun talk.